Right. I'm a bit surprised that this subject hasn't come up before, because the two issues, atheism and feminism, are very, very closely linked. I'm a progressive, politically progressive. I'm a strong atheist. That means I am critical and reserve the right to oppose the malign effects of religion. That's what a positive atheist is. And I'm a feminist. I haven't learnt my feminism from lectures or books, but from observation and my own personal experience. I facilitate the London Atheist Meetup Group, which meets at Conway Hall, which has taken off, and we now have 2 meetings a month. And those meetings are full to overflowing. We have to restrict the numbers. And this is of positive atheists. Lots of people in this country are atheists. They don't see it expressed anywhere. They don't have the rationale. They have the gut feeling, but not the rationale. I also facilitate the London Feminist Freethinkers group, which also meets at Conway Hall. I also write websites on feminism, the necessity of secularism in politics, in the peace movement, and in education. And I publish a series of atheist perspectives on the effects of religion in education, health, illicit sex of all kinds. That's any sex. Illicit sex is any sex outside of marriage for the procreation of children. Past and present, the effect on all those things, this one is on belief, has been profound, and it astonishes me that so few people seem to recognise it. I also write verse on the same range of subjects, and that's one little book with a few things in it, but I'm planning more. I define religion as political, patriarchal institutions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. We're not talking about the little old lady down the road or someone who does nothing to literally support. That is what I mean by religion. The older pagan religions had multiple male and female gods, but the Abrahamic religions worship only the one true God, a man. They are not based on universal respect and human rights, but notions of the brotherhood of man and God's chosen people. They demand worship and uncritical obedience to God the Father, he who must be obeyed. So useful to the work of tyrants all over the world, throughout history. And all the scriptures of these religions promote prejudice against women. And one of the people in this book collected a whole load of those, and there are a few that I put onto a leaflet which I keep handy for when the Jehovah's Witnesses come to call, the Mormons. And if you look at them, you will see the sort of things that all these religions write down and still promote, although they're a little bit quieter about it now. These religions were invented by men for men, and one should perhaps look at the men who invented the religions and who wrote the books to get a handle on their attitudes to women and sexuality. They are run by celibate men and women, a few women, to worship a virgin birth. God created man in his image. Woman was an afterthought, a regrettable necessity, who showed her ingratitude and stupidity by conspiring with the devil to make man impotent, but who, in the long run, turned out to be a brilliant and undemanding mate, carer, domestic servant, and decorative entertainer, who could work hard along with the children in the fields, mines, mills and factories of later centuries. So it's all turned out quite well. My current concern is that there appears to be little recognition of the extent to which traditional attitudes are hampering the progressive campaigns against prejudice and discrimination, all of which are based on elitism, race, class, gender and peace. Today I would concentrate mainly on its effects on feminism, although in my view all of these campaigns are linked. And as opposition to progressive ideas becomes more subtle, these traditional attitudes persist, and forgetting their original roots, the campaigns become isolated from each other as they try to respect the views of conservatives and religious opinion. This weakens them to a point of desperation as far as I can see. What is surprising is that the story of the feminist movement appears to be so short and so slow, given that women comprise approximately half of the population, more or less in different countries, in different times, and that they bear and bring up the children of the next generation in their early years, their formative years, that lay the foundation of the stereotype of sexism. And further, although women have been able to take advantage of university education for the last 100 or so years, they've distinguished themselves in the professions and applied themselves to women's studies. But academia, with its gender bias and its innate elitism, has, as it's always done, operated as an elitist enclave. In the past it was little groups of male philosophers, and they were tolerated because of their status, so long as they didn't inflame the masses. The key to this is that, women are on average physically weaker than men, yet looking at the cultural practices around the world, there is little in the way of hard work that needs stamina and strength that is not loaded onto women. But traditional attitudes are too deeply ingrained, even in women, to be easily overturned. Key to this is that religion confuses issues and prevents rational evidence-based thinking that should lead to policy change, and instead leaves people prey to maintain traditional attitudes that justify prejudice and discrimination as natural, part of the natural order, part of God's plan. And while they will agree with all the evidence that we can provide, and it doesn't matter how much evidence we can provide, they will pay lip service and they say, yes, yes, you're right, but they will do nothing to help, because they think, like religion itself, it's natural, it can't be changed, and off they go and do something else. But elitism, sexism, racism, constant competition and violent conflict are not natural. They're not just human nature. There is no plan, and therefore they are changeable. Altruism, compassion, cooperation and reason are every bit as innate